Das ist Frank Turner und ihr hört the Common Talk Podcast.
Okay, we're here with Frank Turner at the Huxleys in Berlin tonight. Hi, Frank.
Hello, how you doing?
We hope you had a good start in 2016. What did you do on your birthday, which was at the end of the last year, and New Year's?
I had a party on my birthday. I had dinner with a lot of my friends and with my girlfriend, and that was pretty cool. And then for New Year's, I did a DJ set, which is ridiculous. But it's like a friend of mine runs a club night. And they had a big New Year's Eve party, and he paid me a little bit of money to play some songs that I like. And that's cool, because I never quite know what to do on New Year's Eve, you know? It's always just like, what do you do on New Year's Eve? So to have something, you know, so I DJ'd and then I had a party back at my house, and it was fun. It was good. It took me a few days to recover from the party because I got really, really drunk.
Okay. I just wonder, you're doing the soundcheck right now.
Yeah, this is virtual soundcheck is what it is. So basically we record the gig every night, multi-track, and one day I'm going to go back through and pick out a live album of all of it.
Oh, cool.
We've already got something like 500 shows recorded, and I really don't feel like listening to 500 shows right now. But one day I will listen to it all. But it's great. It basically means that our sound guy can do like half a sound check without us being there, which is well, and actually, technically speaking, the reason that's so great is the way we were able to do the new album, Positive Songs and Negative People, the way we were, is because we built this system technically, and it means that every day when we sound check, we don't have to be like, you know, play the guitar for 2 minutes, play the drums for 2 minutes. We can just get up and play. So for the whole Tech Deck Heart tour, for 2 years on the road, every day we would play new songs for 2 hours every day.
Okay.
So, and that's how Positive Songs came together, was in sound checks every day. But it's because Luke can do this shit now that we don't have to do the boring part of sound check.
Okay.
We wondered if you ever had a plan B if becoming a world-known rock star wouldn't have worked out. Did you have another dream job as a kid or so?
Yeah, I mean, part of me feels like I still have a plan B. I mean, you know, I work in a very fickle industry, you know, and there's not many people who do this for their whole lives. And partly that's because a lot of people decide they don't want to do it for their whole lives, but also, you know, the public fall out of love with people, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I guess history is my passion outside of music, and I'm actually in the middle of planning to write a history book right now. It's part of the reason I'm doing it is because it's really hard. Like, you know, I don't want it to sound like I think it's easy to write a history book. I think it's very hard to write a history book.
About what part of history?
I'm going to write a history of the Holloway Road, which is a road in North London, which is where my dad's family is from, and it's where I live now. So I'm going to write a history of this one road in London. But like, I've had some meetings with some historians and discussed, you know, how you research it and all this kind of thing. It's going to take me like 5 years, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah, it seems like you're touring all year. And do you have a real home?
Yeah, I do now. I didn't for a long time. Between about halfway through Million Dead and the end of 2012, I didn't have my own place, it was about 8-9 years where I would either crash at my mum's sofa or my girlfriend's house if I had a girlfriend, kind of thing, you know, or actually the other place I used to crash was at Nambucca, the bar in North London. I used to say there was a sofa there that was mine if I wanted it, kind of thing. It was in a hallway, so it wasn't a particularly good place to sleep, but I could still sleep there. Anyway, I decided to get a place again in 2012, and yeah, it's great. I live with my best friend, and we have a flat, and it's fucking great. My vinyl is out on a shelf.
Okay.
You know, it's wonderful. I have a TV and everything.
Yeah, I just saw you on the left field with Billy Bragg discussing your book.
Yeah.
And now I saw that you're doing such a book discussion in New York.
Yeah.
And is there any plan to do that regularly?
Well, we're doing it in New York because we're publishing the American version of the book is being published, so we're launching that over there. Actually, funnily enough, I had a meeting yesterday with a guy who was translating the book into German, which is really cool. I mean, he gave me like a draft of it, and I was like, I have no idea if this is any good or not. I can't speak German. But that's something that we're working on, and hopefully we'll figure that out and we'll have a German version of it. But the discussion will still be in English, I'm afraid.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. Your sixth studio album is called Positive Songs for Negative People. Would you rather say you're a positive or a negative thinking person?
It depends on what time of day you ask me.
Okay.
Or what day of the week, or whatever.
What about now?
What now? A little bit
After
negative.
the coffee, maybe.
After the coffee, I become a positive person. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I really like the album title. I think my one thing about it is that it's not. Of course, it's not like a joke title for a record, but it's not quite as serious as some people think it is. You know, it's got a little bit of a kind of a wink to it. You know, it's not kind of. I'm not dashboard confessional. You know what I mean? It's like. So yeah, it's you know, I've had some interviews where they're like, "You think all of your fans are negative people?" And I'm like, "No, the fuck, man, chill out." So.
Yeah, we always try to be in time for your concerts because of the great support bands like
Good, thank you.
Larry and the Flask and North Alone in Berlin. How do you find them? Did they call you or? Is that the record company? I don't think that North Alone is...
No. Well, it's a funny thing. Like, I mean, the record company avenue is one that I'm always a little suspicious of because certainly I had a bad experience when I was in Million Dead. We had a couple of tours where the record label like forced some opening bands on us who were fucking terrible, and it really pissed me off because I felt like we were cheating the people in the crowd. You know, people that you pay your money and then you have to watch some shit band. That's not cool. You know, that sucks. So ever since then, I've always wanted to choose the bands that I tour with, and you know, to make sure that first of all, obviously, it's a way of kind of spreading the word about bands that I like, but it's also about putting on a good evening. I mean, partly sometimes. I mean, having said all of that, Extra Mile and me, we work together very closely. So quite often, I would take bands to Extra Mile, I found, or they send me a record and say, "Hey, we just signed these guys. What do you think?" And actually, on this tour, I found Will Varley playing in a bar. I went to see a friend of mine for some drinks, and he was playing, and I was just like, "What the fuck is this?" And then Extra Mile found Skinny Lister and sent me a copy of their record, and I loved it. So it's kind of both this time. I mean, like everybody, I mean, I hear new music just through word of mouth, through seeing other shows or whatever. I'm really bad. I mean, in a way, I think that's actually quite good for me in a career way, but I'm fucking terrible at knowing what's going on in terms of like new music that's like popular. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like someone was asking me about a band called Politica or something the other day. And I was just like, who the fuck is that? And they're playing after us at a festival. And I was just like, who the fuck is this? And apparently they've released an album and it's sold 1 billion copies or something. And I'm like, okay, cool, good. I'm happy for them. But like, I don't, and like every year, like when you see shit like, like the Enemy Awards or the Mercury Prize or something like that, I'm like, who the fuck are any of these bands? I just got no idea.
We are all getting old.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you still playing as a support for somebody?
Yeah.
Can we expect Frank Turner as a support for?
Yeah, I mean, well, in Germany we've done a few shows with Die Totenhosen now, and we've definitely been talking to them about doing some more because obviously they play to so many fucking people that it's really good for us as well. We played with them in Zurich the other day, and we played with them in Mannheim a couple of years ago. And then also, actually, the guys from Diazza were talking about maybe us doing some shows as well, which would be fucking great because they're amazing. Yeah. I mean, no, there's nothing concrete happening with that.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. and I mean, this summer actually, I can't say who, but we're going to the States to do a really long support tour in the States this summer. It's not been announced yet, but it's like, I mean, it's a funny thing. Like in America with the band, when my first time the band came to America was when we opened for Folge in 2010. And then between 2010 and 2012 we did Folge, Social Distortion and Dropkick Murphys. And I really think that's what made us as a band, was playing to every night, playing to 4,000 people who didn't give a fuck when we walked on stage. And you've got half an hour to prove why anyone should care. And it made us a really good band, I think, and I almost, in a way, I'm kind of looking forward to doing some more support shows. It's a different thing to doing a headline show. It's a very different kind of thing, because, like I said, you have to prove why you're worth listening to, and I like that. It's a good discipline.
You have toured so many places and you've seen so many big and small cities. Is there a special thing or a special moment that you connect with Berlin?
Yeah, I mean, I love Berlin. I being a history nerd, you know, I've spent a lot of time. I've read a lot of books about Berlin, and it's been great to come here. And I mean, you know, I've had some time to walk around this city. I mean, it's always that thing. I'm always having to remind people, like my mum, for example, that like I'm not on holiday right now. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you're going to Berlin. Here's 10 things you should do, and I go, cool. I've got no time. But you know, Berlin's an amazing, beautiful city. I think the main thing. This is the thing. Like, you know, the cliche, which is true, is that if you're in a band, you travel the great cities of the world, and you see dressing rooms and parking lots and airports and hotels, and that is true. But the flip side is you get to meet people, you know, and like for me, like I have, I'm having dinner tonight with like 3 friends of mine from Berlin, all totally sort of completely different people who I've met here. My friend Betty, who takes photos for Vogue magazine, my friend Sheep, who's a tour manager, and my friend Deanne is coming as well. And you know, these are people who I know from touring, and that's the part of touring that I love, is getting to know people, and you know, it makes life rich. You see the world through someone else's eyes a little bit, hopefully, and you learn something.
Yeah, it's probably even more interesting to get to know the people than the city.
Yeah, you know, I mean, people make a city or whatever, but like, you know, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some friends today.
Yeah. Ollie and me, we have 2 kids, and we are pretty, I would say, normal Berlin family. Do you think it is possible to have family, kids, and also do this famous rock star life? Is it possible at the same time? Or would it be an option for you at all?
Yeah, well, I mean, there are people in my band who have kids. There's people in my crew who have kids. It is possible. It's not easy. But I guess you just sort of have to choose your priorities. I mean, there are some people who see them as you can't do both, you know, and they go, I want to have kids, so I'm going to stop touring. That happens to a lot of people, actually. But not everyone. I mean, I don't have kids, but I am actually, for the first time in 1,000 years, in a relationship that's meaningful right now. So I have somebody at home. I'm not going to stop touring, and she got together with me knowing that I do what I do for a living, but I mean, she's going to come to Hamburg, you know, and we're going to New York together. She's going to come out here and there. So it takes work, but it's doable.
So maybe someday you have to think about this question again.
Yeah, maybe. Well, ask me again in 10 years. Yeah, we'll see how we do. But I mean, like, do you know Tim Barry?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim's got 2 kids now, and he's still on the move, so it's doable. Tim's like my idol. Like, I want to grow up. I want to be Tim Barry.
Okay, now we have some this or that questions.
Okay.
So it's Spotify or Apple Music in the artist's point of view and the consumer's point of view.
From the artist's point of view, Apple Music, Spotify is fucking awful for artists.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's a fucking stitch up. I mean, at the same time, I don't see the point in fighting a losing battle against reality. Spotify exists, loads of people use it, so my music's on there.
You're using it, you're doing playlists?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that the record label want me to do, so I do it. But, so yeah, you know, but personally, I don't use Spotify in principle because I think it's bullshit for artists. I mean, to be honest, as a user, I don't use either. I have vinyl and CDs, and I buy things off iTunes.
Okay.
That's how I get music.
Okay. Then we have vinyl or digital. So
well, I mean, that's a slightly more complicated question simply because I mean, I kind of want to say vinyl, but in practically speaking, it's more digital simply because I can't take my record collection on tour with me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's on a shelf at home, but like most of the time, I listen to music on an iPod.
You prefer touring in America or Europe or Asia?
Oh, that's a tough question, man. I mean, I think that... Oh, I can't, that's a hard question. America, I love American culture, and I love going to dive bars and getting tattooed and seeing my American friends, and there's something about being on the road in America which is very kind of classic, you know what I mean? It's like the film Almost Famous or whatever. It's like touring in America is cool as fuck. Europe, the thing about touring in Europe is that there's more shit to see. So like, I was in Leipzig the other day and I managed to go to the Monument of Nations, and there's nothing like that anywhere in America, you know, like at all. So I think it's a difficult question.
Okay. Then a more simpler question: Coke or Pepsi or smoothie?
Coke.
Okay.
Well, the smoothie, I try and make myself drink smoothies because it's better for your health. But I'm Coke.
Okay, then playing clubs or playing arenas?
I'm lucky that I don't have to choose one or the other because both of them have their appeal. You know, I mean, obviously, like, it's easier to have a good show in a club. I think that's one of the things, when people have this kind of debate about clubs versus arenas, I think something that people don't realise is it's actually really fucking hard to do a good arena show. And you have to be really, really good at what you do to do a good arena show. And so when sometimes you see bands going, yeah, we prefer playing the clubs, part of me thinks that it's like, yeah, that's because you suck at playing arenas. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, it's because you don't know how to play an arena. I'm not necessarily sure that we do. We've done quite a few arena shows in that time, and people have enjoyed them, and they've come back to other shows afterwards, so maybe we weren't terrible, but like, it's certainly easier for us to have a good show tonight than it is when we play an arena show. So,
but the Cortex before.
Sorry,
but you played the Cortex before.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, so it's difficult. I mean, there's, you know, when you walk out on stage, if you're headlining an arena show, when you walk out on stage, there's something about the physical weight of the sound that comes at you that is fucking amazing, and like there is no feeling like that in the world. And it's just like when we walked out on stage when I did that Wembley show or whatever, when we did the O2 or when we did Ali Pally the other day, you just walk out on stage and you're just like, oh. And it's kind of like, you know, it would be silly of me not to admit that that's an incredible thing. But it's nice to get right up in people's faces.
Yeah.
So.
Do you choose the cities for your tour?
Not really. Okay. I mean, basically, I could order people around more, but I mean, so for example, Germany, I have my booking agent who's in London, and then my promoter is FKP Scorpio, and Zilka and Alex there. They know the German touring market better than I do, and they have a conversation with my manager and with my agent and with my record label here, and they put together what they think is a good plan. Now, sometimes I have an opinion, and I kind of go, well, you know, I think we need to go here or whatever, and I can say that, but I'm not going to spend all day telling these people how to do their job, otherwise I might as well do it myself. You know what I mean? And I mean, the one way in which I sometimes influences it is like, so for example, I'm having this huge argument at the moment about Spain, because we don't sell many records in Spain, and so a lot of people who I work with are like, it's not that important to go to Spain. But I get so much fucking email from Spain, so many tweets, Facebook, everything, and I'm saying to everyone, we fucking have to go to Spain. We have to go to fucking Spain, like now. And they're like, oh really? And I'm like, yes, get me to fucking Spain immediately. And the same thing actually, hopefully this year I'm going to get South America for the first time.
Oh cool.
Which I've been trying to do for years, because again, you don't really sell records in South America because everybody downloads that, but they go to shows, and like they have fucking so much email I get from Brazil, Argentina, all this shit. And they're like, please. and I finally managed to convince my manager that this is a place we need to go. So hopefully we're going to go. Cool.
I read in another interview that you attended Eton, it's a college in England, and that you went to the same class like Prince William. Yeah.
He was around. That's the thing is, basically, when I was 13 years old. Well, actually, when I was 12 years old, my parents put me up for an academic scholarship exam. I didn't really know what it was at the time, I'll be honest with you. I was just a kid, and they were like, do this, and I went, okay. And I passed, and Eton's a very exclusive school, you know, it costs a shitload of money to send the kids there. It's the children of the rich and the powerful, basically. And I would never have gone there if I hadn't passed this exam. And the thing is, the education there is fucking amazing. It's like the best education you can get. But like, I didn't really understand what was going on until a few years later. I was there for 5 years, and that's kind of why I got really into punk rock, is because I was there and I was surrounded by all these kids who were kind of assholes, and they were really kind of, you know, socially prejudiced and kind of like snobs, you know, and I was just like, what the fuck is up with these people? And then I kind of started, you know, when you're 12 you don't know about politics and class and that kind of shit, and I started figuring that shit out and realising that I wasn't really one of these people, and even if I was, I didn't want to be, kind of thing, you know. And then I had the Clash, and it was just like, you know, the Clash and Black Flag, and it was just like, shit, okay, now I can fucking be angry for the right reasons. You know?
How do you like Jay's song, Harry in a Helicopter? I mean, the song by Beans on the
I think it's funny as shit.
It's so good.
Yeah, what was so great as well, Americans, weirdly, Americans love the royal family. It's really strange. They got rid of the British, but they love the royal family. And we took Jay to America and he was playing that song, and Americans were just going like they couldn't fucking believe what he was saying, and it was so fucking funny. It was great.
Yeah, Bina and me, we were very sad last week when David Bowie died. How did you hear about that? And do you have a favorite David Bowie song?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick one song, I'd probably pick Heroes.
Yeah,
that's a great fucking song. Yeah. It's funny, like I think that it's disrespectful to pretend to be more into something when someone dies than you are. I wasn't the biggest David Bowie fan in the world. I respected him enormously. I find him inspirational in the sense that his constant reinvention, I think every artist should pay attention to that, because with the exception, well, it's interesting, there's a couple of exceptions to this rule, and I always think of AC/DC, Pennywise and Motorhead, which we'll come to in a minute, but other than those kind of bands, like, you have to change in order to survive as an artist. In fact, I feel like it is your duty to change, and if you stay the same, then you're letting your fans down, you're letting yourself down as an artist. That incidentally is something I want to shout in the ear of people on the internet all the fucking time. I release a new album, it's different from the last one. I know! That's the fucking point! Anyway, but yeah, so I mean, David Bowie, it's sad that he died. I mean, I think, to be honest, given the fact that he claims to have survived off cocaine and red peppers and milk for 7 years, I think he did okay.
Yeah.
You know? 69 is not a bad age to reach for that shit. But I think I was more sad about Lemmy. Lemmy died on my fucking birthday, which really bummed me out. Because it was like midnight on my birthday, and we were having a party, and everyone was having a great time. We were all drinking, and my friend of mine runs a bar, and he'd like closed the bar down, and we had like, you know, me and my friends were like, getting drunk, and someone was like, Lemmy's dead, and it was just like, what? Oh, yeah. Fuck. Yeah, so, and I mean, to me, I think Lemmy was certainly somebody I identified with more, just in the sense that I think that... I was having this conversation with someone the other day, and this is going somewhere relevant. I fucking hate Guns N' Roses, and I've always hated Guns N' Roses, and I hate everything about Guns N' Roses. And the thing to me is that they represent everything that's bad about rock and roll as an idea, and I think Lemmy represents everything that's good about rock and roll as an idea, because Lemmy was a gentleman, he was considerate, he was intelligent, you know, and he was a thoughtful human being who was always cared about the people around him, and he was rock and roll. No one is more rock and roll than Lemmy, but he also wasn't a prick, you know, whereas Axl fucking Rose going on the stage 2 hours late, being a cunt over and firing his band, stealing their rights, all that sort of bullshit. Fuck that guy, you know, and that's it. And so to me it's like, that's what I was thinking about when Lemmy died. It was just kind of like, I want to be more like Lemmy and less like Axl Rose. I don't think, hopefully I'm not like Axl Rose in any way, but like, if I had to choose, I want to be more like Lemmy.
Okay.
I don't do speed, but still.
Yeah, well, are you listening to any German musicians these days?
No, you can't.
Well, I mean, exactly. I'm about to start listening to this. Not that much, I'll be honest with you. Although I got a DVD of Die Totenhosen playing in people's houses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they
gave living room tour.
Yeah, they gave me a copy of that DVD, and it's amazing. Not least because just the technical side of it. I was watching it and like, because it was one of their crew who gave it to me, and he was like, "Dude, you want to see a fucking crew working hard?" He was like, "Watch this shit." And I was just watching it, and it's like, "Oh my god, how did they do that?" Like the technical side of it is amazing. But yeah, so I've been watching that quite a lot. The Die Totenhosen guys are so fucking great. They're some of the nicest people that I've met in all of my years on the road. They're just really wonderful human beings.
We see Campino almost at every concert of you.
Yeah,
I've got a feeling he's coming tonight, actually, if they're not touring. He usually does. But yeah, just like, I mean, for example, we had a thing, I ran into them one time, and I was like, I've not 100% quit drinking on tour, but I really don't drink very much on tour anymore. And part of the reason was that I got to a point where I was like drinking too much and making a dick out of myself. And I ran into Campino one time, and I kind of made a dick out of myself because I was too drunk, right? And then the next time I saw him, like, I made a real point. I went up and I was like, "Dude, I'm fucking really sorry. I was being such a dick." And he was just like, "Man, I've been so much worse than that." He was like, "You're fine, don't worry about it." And he was so gracious about it and so nice about it, and it was just like, God damn it. Thank you, because I spent like 3 months kind of torturing myself, thinking I'm such a dickhead, and then he was totally cool about it.
Yeah, you aren't doing a concert tomorrow. You have a day off.
A day off in Zurich. I'm very excited about it.
What you do then?
There will be snow. Are you going to ski?
No, I'm scared of skiing. I'd fucking break something that I need for a show.
Me too.
Well, we have a thing called slug life. Slug life is like thug life, whatever. Slug life basically is what Kaho, my guitar tech, came up with it. It basically means we usually arrive at the hotel about midday, and you get into your room, and then you close the door, and you take your clothes off, and you get in the bath, and then you watch Netflix, and you get room service, and you don't leave.
Okay.
That's slug life.
Yeah.
And that is quite often what I do on a day off, because it's fucking tiring what we do, you know, and particularly if you
imagine that,
fucking 5:30 in the morning like an idiot. So sometimes you do just need to have a day where you do nothing. But at the same time, you know, I feel bad if in America it's fine, because usually we have a day off in like the middle of fucking nowhere. We're going to be in Zurich tomorrow, you know, I want to hopefully have a look around, see some churches or something. But it is important to rest. I mean, my thing I always do on a day off is I take my book that I'm reading, whatever I'm reading, and I go to a restaurant on my own. I go to a really good restaurant, I spend some money, you know, and I have a steak, I have like a bottle of wine, and everybody, they all take the piss out of me. They always say that I'm taking my book on a date. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking taking my book in a day. Fuck you. And you know, I'm reading Suetonius right now as it goes. But like, and you know, I'm going to read like 100 pages of my book, and I'm going to drink some really expensive wine. And I'm going to eat a fucking steak. You know, and because I don't really spend money on anything usually. Like, I don't care very much about like material shit. But that's my one thing I do spend money on. Is spend on day off, nice resting. Yeah.
It's okay. The last question. Is there anything you want to ask us?
Were you guys here the last time we played this venue at Huxley's?
I was here. Ollie was sick.
Yeah, I was sick. But I saw you before with Social Distortion here.
Oh yeah, okay. That was the time when Nigel's son played drums for us at the end of the set.
Yeah.
And Jacob got up and he did drums in the end. That was so cool. I thought it was his 14th birthday. I remember. Which is so fucked, because that was in 2011, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And that means that Jacob is now 19. Oh my god. But the last time we were here was the time when I hit Ben in the head with the microphone by mistake. Do you remember that? So it was the tour when I'd injured my back and I wasn't playing guitar.
Yeah,
we had Dan Allen playing guitar.
And you played at my birthday on the 8th of September here.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
But I was doing that thing. It was in the last song of the set was Photosynthesis, and I was swinging the microphone around on the chord, and I hit Ben in the head, and he was pissing blood out of his head, and like he had to go to hospital. He had to have like staples in his skull and shit. And like I felt so bad. I still feel so fucking bad about it. And I got up this morning, and there are posters around the place with a photo of Ben bleeding, and it says "Watch out, Turner's about." On it.
Don't do this again.
Yeah, and I feel bad about it. Anyway, I just wanted if you remember that. But yeah, I'm not going to swing my microphone around tonight.
Okay, so that was it.
Yeah,
cool, awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah,
for
it's
making
good to
this
see you
happen.
guys. Thanks for coming on again, and I hope you enjoy the show tonight. And well, we have Skinny Lister and Will Varley tonight. So
Yeah, I know. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, actually, Will is part of the reason I stayed up so late last night. Is that me and him got into an argument about politics.
Okay.
And it's a bad fucking idea. Give me a glass of wine and start talking about politics. And
okay, we won't do this now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go and have some lunch, I think,
Okay,
or
then.
something.
Bye bye.
Thank you very much.
Okay, und wir sagen schon mal Tschüss. Das war Frank Turner im Huxleys. Tschüss.
Bye bye.
That was a fun interview. I enjoyed that.
Ja, wie er ja erwähnte, ein schönes Interview. Das war ein cooler Abend. Was das wohl gewesen ist, was er noch nicht sagen darf, mit wem er spielt in Amerika.
Tour in Amerika.
Ich gebe einen Tipp ab.
Na, sag.
Green Day werden ein neues Album rausbringen.
Und meinst du, er wird die Vorband, oder wie? Ah, okay. Würde
Vielleicht.
passen.
Ja, das Konzert war dann auch natürlich super.
Wie er schon vorausgesagt hatte, er hat ja richtig Bock gehabt zu spielen, hatte ich das Gefühl beim Interview.
Ja, man hat
gefreut.
ihm aber nicht so angemerkt, weil er war halt todmüde. Irgendwie kam er auch, als wir da ankamen, kam er gerade aus dem Bus gestapft und hat was gegessen und hat sich dann gleich die halbe Stunde Zeit für uns genommen. Musste dann aber auch weiter, deshalb ist das Ende ein bisschen, wie sagt man denn, ein bisschen schnell. Also es wird alles schneller zum Ende hin, weil da steht dann auch jemand und gibt Zeichen, dass jetzt langsam zum Schluss. Aber war cool, dass er sich so lange Zeit genommen hat und ihm hat es ja auch Spaß gemacht.
Ja. Trotzdem er echt müde war, weil er die Nacht vorher mit Will Varley über Politik geredet hatte, bis nachts um 4, wie er ja sagte.
Genau, und Will Varley war auch dementsprechend durch. Den hat man dann, wenn er nicht gespielt hat, im Huxleys am Merch-Stand eigentlich die ganze Zeit getroffen und konnte mit ihm quatschen und so. Auch ein super sympathischer Mensch. Tolle Lieder. Also, ja, wer Will Varley noch nicht kennt, hört euch den mal an.
Der war auch die Entdeckung für mich an dem Abend. Den kannte ich noch nicht und der ist toll. Den muss man sich mal anhören. Der schreibt so tolle Texte und hat eine super Stimme. Wirklich eine tolle Neuentdeckung.
Ja, danach Skinny Lister fand ich auch super.
Ja, die haben Stimmung gemacht. Die haben so richtig den Laden aufgemischt.
Ja, wie eine große Kneipe.
Ja, das stimmt.
Und das Geile an Frank Turner Konzerten ist ja wirklich, das hat ja Billy Bragg damals schon gesagt, dass er ihn dafür bewundert, oder sein Publikum eigentlich, dass die halt wirklich zu den Vorbands so abgehen auch. Also man kennt die gar nicht, aber trotzdem, man weiß, das ist irgendwie was Besonderes und die sind toll. Das ist nichts, was irgendwie von der Plattenfirma kommt oder was er machen muss oder so. Und das weiß das Publikum auch zu schätzen. Man merkt es, selbst das Berliner Publikum war irgendwie total locker und sind bei Skinny Lister schon abgegangen irgendwie. Das fand ich cool.
Ich muss sagen, ich hatte gelesen im Vorhinein ein paar Kritiken von der Tour, als er in anderen Städten war. Da haben die geschrieben, da haben die zum Beispiel bei Will Varley alle eigentlich nicht zugehört, sondern gequatscht und den hat keiner so richtig für voll genommen. Deshalb war ich so positiv überrascht, dass das in Berlin, gerade in Berlin, wo eigentlich wo das Publikum ein bisschen schwierig ist, dass die gerade so doll mit abgegangen sind und so zugehört haben bei Will Varley. Das hat mich gefreut, nachdem ich das andere da gelesen hatte. Ja.
Mhm. Ja, und dann ging es auch, also es ging auch Schlag auf Schlag, waren keine großen Umbaupausen oder so. Ach so, den ganzen Abend diese, wie nennt man denn diese Musik, die immer zwischen den Bands gespielt wird, den ganzen Abend David Bowie. War irgendwie eigenartig, aber ja, jedenfalls danach dann Frank Turner 2 Stunden straight durchgespielt eigentlich.
Mhm. Der hat allerdings auch ja David Bowie quasi gegrüßt.
Ja.
In irgendeinem Song, was war denn das?
Und Lemmy auch.
Lemmy, wo dann alle für David Bowie und Lemmy hüpfen sollten.
Ich weiß nicht mehr.
Ja, haben alle gemacht.
Ja. Und alle haben mitgesungen und mitgetanzt und das war toll. Bis um 12.
Haben quasi seine 2 Regeln der Konzerte eingehalten, die er ja immer sagt. Seid nett zueinander und wer den Text kennt, muss mitsingen.
Ja. Mhm. Ja, also wir hoffen, dass wir ihn vielleicht dieses Jahr nochmal in Berlin sehen können. Irgendwo, habe ich schon gesagt. Und vielleicht sogar auch Will Varley oder Skinny Lister so auf
kleineren Tourgigs oder
ja,
so. Ja,
und nicht als Supportband. Lohnt sich wirklich, guckt euch die mal an, hört euch die mal an. Ja, und wenn ihr auch da wart oder auch noch irgendwas dazu beitragen wollt, zu unserer kleinen Review, dann gerne in den Kommentaren oder bei Facebook oder mailt uns. Ja.
Ich bin gespannt auf Frank Turners zweites Buch, von dem er erzählt hat.
Das stimmt.
Geschichtsbuch.
Auf das Geschichtsbuch
ja.
über Holloway.
Über die Holloway Road.
Naja, wer weiß, ob er dafür in den nächsten 10 Jahren Zeit findet.
Na, ich würde es toll finden.
Okay, dann
gut.
Danke fürs Zuhören und schreibt uns, lest uns, guckt euch Bilder an auf commentales.com. Tschüss.
Bis bald. Ciao.